Hey everyone, here I am to discuss RDH Evolution. I just returned from Denver, Colorado, where they held RDH Evolution and RDH Under One Roof. And full disclosure, I've never been to RDH Under One Roof before. So I really put it on my bucket list and prioritized it to say, okay, I'm definitely going to carve out some time to go this summer and see how everything goes and really immerse myself in all that RDH Evolution and Under One Roof has to offer. So this is the fourth year for RDH Evolution. So if you don't know what RDH Evolution is, I'm going to share that with you. And if you've never been to RDH Under One Roof, I highly recommend that you go. It was an experience like nothing else I've ever experienced, to be completely honest with you. This is the fourth year that they've done RDH Evolution. And full disclosure, I had it on my radar to go last year, but it just didn't work out for me to go. So let me tell you about RDH Evolution. So what is it, right? It is really a 2.5 day event where all different types of hygienists in all different stages of their career come together and create a very tight network of support for one another, really. That is something I didn't know even when I signed up. And there were people like me in the classroom that's been doing dental hygiene clinically for a long, long time, and then maybe transitioned out of clinical and is doing something else like myself, doing teaching and podcasting and content creating. And then there were other people there that were doing completely different things. There was even a girl in the class who, get this, hasn't even got her acceptance letter to dental hygiene school yet. Is that just phenomenal? That tells you the broad landscape of the cohort of people that were there. So it was just amazing because when you get people together who have all different levels of experience and are on different steps in their path, it just gives you such a rich environment to bounce ideas off of and network with. And that is exactly what happened. So just like in teaching or in working in an office, so every office has a different vibe. Every teaching year cohort has a different vibe. I'm quite certain that every year of RDH Evolution has a different vibe. So I would say that the vibe of my cohort was very positive, very engaging, very vulnerable. People were sharing, which was awesome because the more you open up and share maybe things that you're scared of, maybe failures that you've had, fears that you feel, and you share that with others, you start to recognize that, oh, this isn't just me. There's other people that feel this very same way. Some of the challenges and obstacles that we have in our particular profession, and maybe some of the opportunities that maybe you didn't realize, or steps that you can take to help you achieve your goals. What really comes out of it is that there's all these different people that are instantly your support network. And there's people there that can help you, maybe something that you're interested in. Maybe you want to write an article and put it in a magazine, or maybe you want to be a speaker, or maybe you want to go into sales, or maybe you want to get into dental hygiene school. All these people in the room have different experiences and are there to say, hey, this is what I tried and this is what works. And then you're able to grow and evolve together. Now let's just talk about the curriculum, that this amazing curriculum that they put together for you at Evolution. First of all, they give you this awesome handbook. This is your gold standard handbook. This is like your go-to guide for your network. In the handbook, it has every single person who attended Evolution, where they're from, their contact information, a little bio about themselves, why they chose to go to RDH Evolution, and where they want to be in 5 years. So what is that person's goals and what do they hope to achieve? And I so appreciate that they put this book together because I didn't realize until I got to Evolution that there's so much going on when you're there that you really can't take all this information in. And it's not until you go home and do some reflecting, which I'm working on right now. I still need quite a bit of time to reflect on all that went on at Evolution and RDH Under One Roof. But then the conference details of everything that you're going to cover in the course is also laid out in the book. And it's just wonderful. It's a nice balance between um, maybe some opening up and networking with one another, and really understanding yourself and others. And then how to really do some reflection on yourself and then present yourself in the very best way to others. You'll get to meet some corporate sponsors and some of the people that are there to support you in whatever endeavors that you want to pursue. And then there's definitely some collaborative activities to help you really understand your personality, how you communicate with the world, how you present yourself to the world. And then there's different workshops. There's a workshop on reflection. I loved one of the speakers that were there, Michelle Prince. She had an entire lecture on busy being busy, but getting nothing done, which was a really great highlight on time management and work-life harmony, which there was another, basically everybody there that spoke were just so high level. They shared some of their own personal experiences, and they really challenged us to really look inside of ourselves to see how we could grow and evolve, right? So that's what RDH Evolution is all about, the evolution of yourself. And then there's some business etiquette things that you don't necessarily learn in clinical hygiene that they went over, really detailed things like your personal email and your social media profiles and different things that you might want to clean up if you are exiting out of clinical hygiene and going into education or going into writing or speaking or some other business endeavor. These are some of the things that we highlight in dental hygiene school, but we don't necessarily teach specifically. So it's a really nice couple hours seminar on the business side and transitioning out of the clinical op of some of the things that maybe we need to focus on that we haven't really focused on so far in our career. And then there's a great session on writing tips and selling yourself and how to gain more confidence and really developing those relationships outside of the clinical op that will help you achieve your goals. Obviously, Jackie Sanders is an activator. That's really her self-proclaimed proclaimed definition, her adjective. It's actually a verb, right? She is so good at looking at someone, having that conversation with them. She's so warm and inviting, and she's so good at saying, you know where your talent is, and she can really help connect people together and help you activate whatever it is that you're looking to do. So to have Jackie Sanders in the room, listening to you collaborate with others, listening to you talk about who you are and what you want to do, she's just one of those people. She has a real eye on and a pulse on all different webs. So she's like the spider in the center of the web, so she can really help you get to where you need to go. So to have time with Jackie Sanders and all of the other people that were in the room, it's just fantastic. And they are there really to support you in whatever it is you can dream up that you want to do. They're there to say, okay, these are the steps you need to do to make it happen. And this is what we see. So that's kind of the nutshell, in the nutshell, what RDH Evolution is about. What I will say, which was unexpected, was how deep it went, how deep into really learning about yourself and how to set the goals in a way that's personal. You know, we can all set a goal and say, in 1 year, I want to be doing XYZ. And these are the steps that I've taken so far to achieve that goal. And these are the things that I need to do in the next 6 to 12 months in order to achieve that goal. Right? So we all have that measurable goal model that we've talked about and learned about. If you've got yourself through dental hygiene school, then you know what I'm talking about, goal setting, right? Creating smart objectives. You've done it for your patients, you've done it for your target populations in public health, and doing it for yourself is extremely important. What they did, though, was they went even deeper, and there was a great formula that Josie Sewall presented, which was just next level, to be totally honest with you. And they give you a workbook so that you can take it home and really dive deep into this stuff. Because obviously, when you're at Evolution, there's no possible way that you can complete this entire process while you're there. You're in the wrong time zone. You have jet lag. You're off schedule. You're not sleeping in your own bed at night. You're networking. You're meeting all these people. But my goodness, the toolkit that she gave us, the framework that she gave us, is something I've actually never experienced before. And I've spent a lot of time on goal setting and measurable goal setting and all the steps that you need to take in order to achieve your goals. And this one's just it's a little more personalized, right? So it takes into consideration a lot more stuff when you're setting those goals. And I really appreciated that. I appreciated that it wasn't just the same old conference where you go and they talk to you about, just surface level stuff. Each person that presented had their own personal story on how they achieved their goals. And they were willing to not only share their goals, but share their struggles along the way and some of the challenges that they faced, some of the challenges that they're still facing, and how they overcame some of those challenges. So I was just completely blown away by, number one, all the differences in their stories. Each person had a completely different approach, completely different story, completely different goals, and completely different desires. And it was just really refreshing to see. So myself, one of the things that I got out of RDH Evolution right away is I would consider myself really efficient. I'm really good with my time management. I'm really good at saying, okay, these are my 5 priorities for the day that I'm going to achieve. And I set realistic goals for every day. And if I don't get all 5 of those things done, then maybe I only get 3 things done. Those last 2 things, those are going to be on my high priority list for the very next day. So just as an example, one of the things that I didn't consider was that I can actually schedule time for, my personal time with my kids, or some of my self-reflection stuff where maybe I'm going for a walk, or I'm just decompressing after a day, to actually schedule that stuff in so that it doesn't get put on the back burner. And I really appreciate that. I know I teach students to do that when they're prioritizing. I teach you guys to do that when you're prioritizing your schedule and you're trying to figure out how to manage, studying for all of your classes and studying for all of your exams and getting all of your homework done and clinic patients and everything. But for myself, sometimes it's easier to teach stuff than it is to do it for yourself. So just sharing that one of the things that I got out of Evolution, other than some really wonderful network of people that I would instantly consider friends, is that it's okay for me to prioritize time with my kids and set some better boundaries with students, set some better boundaries with colleagues on, this is a time that I'm not available to answer your email, or this is a time that I'm not available to take your call. And so that's something that I'm going to work on. I think it will make my time at work and my time at home better. Not that it wasn't great before, because it's been great, but there's always room for improvement. So sometimes I say, oh, let me just take a moment and answer this text message or answer this email. And in that moment when I'm doing that, I'm actually taking myself away from whatever it is that I was doing. That is a priority because I'm physically there. So that was something that I need to work on. I highly recommend RDH Evolution. I'm definitely going back to RDH under one roof. It was like being with all of your people that understand you without having to explain who you are. It's like every person I met was somebody that totally got me. It was just fantastic. I've never been to a conference where it was just hygienists everywhere you went. Every one of the courses were geared toward hygienists. Every one of the speakers was either a hygienist or was a hygienist, is a hygienist, or understands hygienists. The entire conference was just fantastic. I honestly, I'm still kind of blown away. It's still kind of early for me to even reflect fully and completely on how the entire conference was. It was loads of fun. It was loads of information. I feel like I have so much information I just want to share with students and share with faculty and share with others, because I came out of there saying, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. Or Why haven't I been doing that before? Or how come I didn't think, like, for example, measuring the width between first molar and first molar on the maxillary, who would have thought you could just take a cotton roll and stick it in there, right? Because you have to have that distance to evaluate the airway space and make sure there's enough room for the tongue. But just as an example, it's like a hygienist would think of something like that. Why didn't I think to just stick a cotton roll in the palate? And if the cotton roll fits between the two first molars, you're good. You have the width space that you're looking for proper airway and palatal space. So that's just one example. I've got like 1,000 of those just from this one conference. So if you have an opportunity to go to RDH under one roof, and by all means, don't think that you're not at the right time in your career to go to Evolution, because the girl who is trying to get into dental hygiene school, how fantastic for her to come to something like Evolution and hear all of the great ideas and things that people shared that are already in the profession. I think it really solidified for her that this is something she definitely wants to do and pursue. And the fact that you leave Evolution with a book of all of the people that were there so that you can come home and then reflect on how it all went. And then you have your network of people that you could reach out to and say, hey, I noticed that in 5 years you want to be doing this. Me too. Let's connect every once in a while and talk about how we're doing. So then you have like a study buddy or someone to hold you accountable for what goals you've set for yourself. And we all know that no matter what the goal is, it's so much better when you have a community of people to do it with. So that's my take, my 15-minute take on RDH Evolution and RDH Under One Roof after my very first time attending. I honestly feel like, what have I been doing all these years? I should have been going sooner, but there's a reason why the rear view mirror is so small and the windshield is so big. We can only look forward. So I will see you all there next year. Take care.